The Ides of March have arrived.
Yes, Caesar, but not left.
Hail Caesar, read this document.
Cassius, would you like to read over when you have time? This is humble request.
Oh Caesar, read mine first, because my request is more personally important to Caesar. Read it, great Caesar.
What is important to us personally shall be dealt with last.
Oh Caesar, read it right now.
What? Is this man crazy?
Boy, get out of the way.
What? Do you present your petitions in the street? Come to the capital.
Cassius, I hope that enterprise today is successful, Cassius.
What enterprise, Popilius?
Good luck.
What did Popilius Lena say?
He hoped that the enterprise today would be successful. I'm afraid a plot has been revealed.
Look how he approaches Caesar. Watch him.
Casca, be quick, for we are afraid of being stopped. Brutus, what shall we do? If our plot has been revealed, either Caesar or Cassius won't return alive, because I will kill myself.
Cassius, stay calm. Popilius Lena is not talking about our plans. For look, he smiles and Caesar's expression does not change.
Tribonis has good timing for C. Brutus. He draws Mark Antony out of the way.
Where is Metellus Cimber? Let him go and immediately present his petitions to Caesar.
He is ready. Get near him and back him up.
Casca, you will be the first that traces your hand.
Are we all ready? What is now so important that Caesar and his Senate must make right?
Most high, most mighty, and most powerful Caesar, Metellus Cimber throws before your seat a humble heart.
I must stop you, Cimber. This bowing and scraping might excite ordinary men and change what has already been decided, like children change their minds. Do not be foolish and think that Caesar's heart has such weak blood that it will be torn from its firmness by things which melt fools. I mean, sweet words, low bows, and behavior fit for a dog. Your brother is banished by law. If you bow and beg and grovel for him, I'll kick you like a mangy dog out of my way. You must know that Caesar does not make mistakes, nor will he be satisfied without good reasons.
Isn't there a voice any better than mine to speak most successfully to Caesar for the return of my banished brother?
I kiss your hand, but not in flattery, Caesar, asking that Publius Cimber may immediately have the right to return to Rome.
What, Brutus?
Pardon me, Caesar. Caesar, pardon me. Cassius falls as low as your foot to beg for the freedom of Publius Cimber.
I could be well moved if ever like you. If I could beg others to be moved, then begging would move me. But I am as steady as the northern star, which has no equal in the sky of its true and immovable nature. The skies are filled with uncounted sparks. They are all fire and everyone shines. But there's only one that stays in the same place. It's the same way in the world. It is well supplied with men. And men are flesh and blood and intelligent. Yet, out of all of them, I only know one that, unable to be attacked, holds his position unmoved. And that I am that man. Let me show you, even in this example, that I was firm that Cimber should be banished, and I am still firm to keep him that way.
Oh, Caesar!
Get away! Will you lift up Mount Olympus?
Great Caesar.
Can't you see that even Brutus's kneeling doesn't influence me?
My hands will speak for me. Casca first, and then the other conspirators in Marcus.
You too, Brutus.
Liberty, freedom, tyranny is dead. Run from here. Tell the news. Shout it on the streets.
Some of you go to the speaker's platform and yell, liberty, freedom, and enfranchisement.
People and senators, do not be afraid. Don't run away. Stand still. Ambition's debt has been paid.
Go to the pulpit, Brutus.
And Cassius too.
Where's Publius?
He is here, very confused by this rebellion.
Stand close together in case one of Caesar's friends should happen to be.
Don't talk about standing, Publius. Be cheerful. We do not intend to harm you, nor any other Romans. Tell them that, Publius.
And leave us, Publius, or else the people rushing on us might harm you, an old man.
Do that, and don't let any man suffer for what happened, but we, the men who did it.
Where is Antony?
He ran to his house, astonished. Men, wives, and children run, cry out, and stare, as if it were the end of their world.
Fates, we will know what you plan for us. We know that we will die, and it is only when and increasing their allotted days that men care about.
Why, one that removes 20 years of life removes that many years of fearing death itself.
If you say so, then death is a benefit. So we are Caesar's friends who have shortened his time of fearing death. Stoop, Romans, stoop! And let's bathe our hands in Caesar's blood up to the elbows and smear our swords. And then we will walk forth as far as the marketplace, waving our red weapons over our heads, shouting, peace, freedom, and liberty.
Stoop then and wash. How many years from now will this lofty scene of ours be acted out in countries not yet created and languages not yet spoken?
How many times will Caesar bleed in plays, who now lies on Pompey's base, no more important than the dust?
As often as that, the group of us will be called the men that gave their country liberty.
What, shall we go out?
Yes, we'll all go. Brutus will lead, and we will honor him by following with the boldest and best hearts of Rome.
Shh, quiet. Who's here? A friend of Antony's.
Like this, Brutus, my master told me to kneel. Like this, Mark Antony told me to fall down and lying face down. He told me to say this: Brutus is noble, wise, valiant, and honest. Caesar was mighty, bold, royal, and loving. Say, I love Brutus and I honor him. I feared Caesar, I honored him and loved him. If Brutus will promise that Mark Antony may safely return to him and be given an explanation why Caesar deserved to die, Mark Antony will not love Caesar, who is dead, as well as Brutus, who is alive, but will follow the fortunes and affairs of noble Brutus through this new, untried government faithfully. This is what my master, Mark Antony, says.
Your master is a wise and valiant Roman. I've never thought of him as anything worse than that. Tell him, if he chooses to come here, he shall receive a satisfactory explanation, and by my honor, leave here without being touched.
I will get him immediately.
I know that will convince him to be our friend.
I hope so, but I'm still afraid of him, and my misgivings are usually accurate.
But here comes Antony. Welcome, Mark Antony.
O mighty Caesar, do you lie so low? Are all your conquests, glories, triumphs, and spoils shrunk to the small amount? Fare you well, my friend. I don't know, gentlemen, what your plans are. Who else must have his blood let, and who else is deceased? If I myself, there is no better time than the time of Caesar's death, and nor any instruments half as worthy as your swords, which have been made rich with the most noble blood in the whole world. I beg you, gentlemen, now, if you have a grudge against me, while your blood-stained hands stink and smoke, do what you want. Even if I live 1,000 years, I will not find myself ready to die. No place will please me as much, and no method of death, as next to Caesar, and by you killed the greatest men of all time.
Oh, Antony, do not beg us to kill you. Although right now we must seem bloody and cruel because of our hands and this recent action you see we do, you still only see our hands and this bleeding business that they have done. You do not see our heart. They are pitiful and pity for the troubles of Rome, as one fire consumes another, and for your part, consumed our pity for Caesar. Our swords are harmless to you, Mark Antony, with all kinds of love, good thoughts, and reverence. With our arms strong in hate and our hearts full of brotherly feelings, welcome you with all kinds of love, good thoughts, and reverence.
You will have as much as to say as anyone in handing out honors from the new government.
Just be patient until we have calmed down the crowds who are beside themselves with fear. And then we will explain to you the reason why I, who was Caesar's friend when I struck him, acted the way I did.
I do not doubt your wisdom, gentlemen. Let each of you give his bloody hand to me. First, Marcus Brutus, I shake hands with you. And now yours, Cassius. And now yours, Decius Brutus. And I shake hands with you, Metellus. And yours, Cinna. And at last, my valiant Casca. Alas, gentlemen, what shall I say? My reputation stands on such slippery ground that you either think me in either one of the two bad ways, either a coward or a flatterer. That I was your friend, oh Caesar, it's true. If your soul looks in on us now, won't it grieve more terribly than your death to see your Antony making his peace, shaking the bloody hands of your enemies? O most noble, in presence of your corpse, if I had as many eyes as you have many wounds, weeping as fast as they bleed, it would be more appropriate than to reach an agreement in friendship with your enemies. Forgive me, Julius. Here is the place that you were trapped, brave heart. Here you fell. And here your hunters stand, marked with your blood and red in your death. O world, you were the forest of his heart, and he was truly, O world, your heart. And just like a deer struck down by many princes, O Caesar, do you lie here?
Mark Antony!
Forgive me, Cassius. Even an enemy of Caesar would say these things. So from a friend, it is a calm and a reasonable speech.
I do not blame you for praising Caesar like that, but what agreement do you intend to have with us? Will you be counted as one of our friends, or shall we move on without you?
And that is why I shook your hands. But I was truly distracted on looking down at Caesar. I'm friends with you all and friendly to you all, with this hope that you all will give me reasons why and how my Caesar was dangerous to you.
Or else this would be a savage display. Our reasons are so carefully considered that if you, Antony, were a son of Caesar, then you would be satisfied.
So be it. That's all I seek. That I am also a suitor, that I may display his body to the marketplace, and in the pulpit, as appropriate for a friend, speak during the course of funeral.
You shall, Antony.
Brutus, I'd like a word with you. You don't know what you're doing. Do not let Antony to speak at his funeral. Do you know how much people may be moved with the things that he will say?
I will myself go to the pulpit first and show the reason for Caesar's death. And then for what Mark Antony says, I will explain that he says it on our authority and by our permission, and that we want Caesar to have a proper funeral. His speech will do us more good than harm.
I don't know what will happen. I don't like it.
Here, Mark Antony, take Caesar's body. In your funeral speech, you may not say bad things about us, but say anything good that you can think of about Caesar, and say you do it with our permission, or else you shall not participate in the funeral. You may speak after my speech is ended, in the same pulpit to which I am going. Remember, after my speech is over.
So be it. That's all I want, Marcus Brutus.
Prepare the body then, and follow us.
Oh, pardon me, you bleeding piece of earth, for cooperating with your butchers. You are the ruins of the noblest man that ever lived in our history. Woe to the hand that shed this expensive blood. Over your wounds now I predict the future. With like silent mouths open my ruby lips to beg my tongue to speak for them. A curse will fall on the arms and legs of the men. A terrible civil war will burn all parts of Italy. Blood and destruction will be so common that mothers will only smile when they see their children torn into pieces during the fighting. All pity disappearing because cruelty is so common. And Caesar's ghost, oh Caesar's ghost, still in search of revenge, with Arte in his side still hot from hell, will in these boundaries with a ruler's voice cry havoc and let loose the dogs of war, so that the terrible action of the bloody men will smell about the earth like rotting corpses begging to be buried.
Hail, Mark Antony.
Hail! You Sir Octavius, don't you?
I do, Mark Antony.
Caesar did right in ask him to come to Rome.
Yes, he have received his letters and is on his way, and asked me to say to you that, oh, my king.
Your heart is swollen with grief, my boy. Go off by yourself and weep. Strong feeling I see is catching for my eyes. Seeing those beads of sorrow stand in yours, minds begin to water. Is your master coming?
Yes, he has set up a camp 21 miles outside Rome.
Hurry back and tell him what has happened. Here is a mourning Rome, a dangerous Rome, not a safe Rome for Octavius yet. Hurry back and tell him that, go back, but wait a while. Wait until I have taken this corpse to the marketplace. There I will find out, in my speech, how people react to the cruel actions of these bloody men, depending on which you shall tell young Octavius how things stand. Now, give me a hand.